Hello YouTube, Mike the Gambling Guy, here to show you another strategy, and this one's not mine, but I learned this from someone off a private Facebook group, and I'm going to put a note below the video of who this private Facebook group is, because if you're serious about baccarat and playing baccarat for real money, you need to join this group, because there is no reason to be paying somebody like Christopher Mitchell or Cheetos Baccarat for their strategies. Doesn't make any sense to do that when there is an entire group all pulling together to help each other, and that's really what this should be. Let's take the money from the casinos. They've got plenty of money, and I'm actually going to show you a strategy or two that I've learned from being in that group. So today I'm actually going to be doing the Underdog 3, called Mikey's 3, that we learned, and I'm not that Mikey, somebody else from the Facebook group, but we're gonna walk through that. And this is all happening on the bead road. So right now you can see down here my bead road is banker player. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that, and then turns it to Chinese symbols. I have no idea what that means. And then I'm gonna go ahead and click so I want to see the numbers, because there's actually two different strategies that I'm gonna try to employ here. So when we're doing Mikey's Underdog 3, the way that Mikey plays it is he actually goes up and down on the bead road. So the last three here have all been player. So the first rule is if they're all player, the last three is all player or all banker, we don't play until there's an underdog. So now there's an underdog. So we have this one and those two, which meaning that we're going to be betting on banker for the next three bets. Okay, so our bet progression is 1 unit, 3 units, and then 8 units. And 8 units is important when you're on the banker, because if you're going to bet 8 units, that way you're taking into account the commission. Is the way that Mikey plays that. And I've actually had great success with it. Now there's a lot more than, so we're going to get our 8-8 tie here, and this is actually a kind of a fun tail baccarat squeeze, and we're going to lose this one, but that's okay. So now we go to 3 units. And when you're playing this, you actually play having multiple bankrolls. So in this case, when I joined, I know that I've got 12 units at risk initially. So how many bankrolls do I need? Well, Mikey says we can have 4 of 12 bankrolls, and you can pick your denomination size. That depends on how big your balance is. But from there, the way that Mikey plays it is if he loses this first bankroll, which does happen every now and again, then the next bankroll will act. Oh, there comes another loss. So now we're going to see us go right up to the 8 units. That's all right. So if we lose this first bankroll, then I take my 2 next bankrolls of 12, and then I'm betting actually $50 a hand for the first unit, 150 for the second, 400 for the third, to be able to make up that original bankroll. So we got a 5-5. The player's going to take a card and maybe get a tie here, or hopefully they reduce. Oh, hopefully that's not a 4. That's kind of the fun about the squeeze, is they're just showing us, oh, it's a 4 or 5. That's a 4. I got a 9. So we're going to get another card. Okay, it looks like we just lost our first bankroll, but now we're back to that rule of we've got 3, right? So we just had 3 in a row, so now we have to wait for another result. So another person, actually Rich Fortner, who had created the private Facebook group, he's got another way that he plays, and he calls it the 7s. So if you're looking over here at the bead road, you see a 7, and then he bets on it to chop for the next 3. So here we had a player that went 7. 2 later, it chopped. Here we had a 7, it then chopped, right? So that's actually another way that I'm going to be playing on this channel as well, because I've actually been trying to mix these two, and I've actually had some success at it. So there's another player, and that's why we're just sitting waiting. We're not going to keep throwing money at it, because now we're going to be into our second bankroll to get our first bankroll back. currently down $300 at 12 units. Because I'm playing the $25 unit. And this one's also a little bit different too, because depending on the percentage of where the money is, that's the side that they go to last. So you'll see they slide that little marker up there saying it's either a banker or player is where most of the bets are. So then that's the one that they're going to peekaboo the card. Just makes it more entertaining, I guess. So you can tell these cards they don't use again because they're banking them. They're betting them up. All right, so now we have a bet here because now we also have, oops, that's too big of a bet. We want quarters. We're on $50. We're not starting right off at $200. Good thing I caught my denomination was off there. So this is our 1 unit bet. Hopefully they've got a 4 or a 5 under there. It's at least a 4. All right, so they're going to go down to a 1. So they're going to get another card. Hopefully it's a face or something. Yeah, it's going to be a small card. Fantastic. So that's 1 unit that we've got back. So we're gonna continue to play our second bankroll until we've gotten that first bankroll back. So now we have a bet on player because now the minority, right? The weak player is player. The weak side is player. So we got 2 bankers and 1 player. So we're going to bet that it's going to player. And you see most of the bets are on banker. So they put the little marker on that side. Hopefully they get another card. Yeah, they're going to be reduced down to a 2, so that's nice. So we just need a little help, or none, but hopefully the banker doesn't have a nice card sitting. Oh, nice little 5-3 action. So we just got 2 units back. Remember, these are 2 bigger units. So I only need 6 units to get my original 12 units back. So now we've got banker, banker, player. So we're looking for another player because that was the underdog. Player's still the underdog. 2-1. And it's really this simple. Now there are a couple other people in the group that play this a little differently. They, instead of playing it consecutively or up and down, they actually separate the board here by a 3 and a 3, and then they go with the top 3, who's the weakest on the top 3, and then who's the weakest on the bottom 3. So they do the underdog a little bit different. And there's a tie. So a tie, we don't pay attention to that. In this strategy, we just simply repeat the bet. No, we're not going to win this one. So now we go to 3 units. So if you haven't figured this out, this is a grand martingale, right? So if you were doing a $1 unit, right, your first bet was $1, your second one is 3 because you doubled it and added a unit. And then our second one is actually 4 units because we're trying to take that commission off the table. And this is actually going to be the last hand before she starts again. And they're going to, hopefully they've got a large card. Nice. Takes it down to a 1-1 game. So at least we have, well, hopefully got a 9 or a face in there as well. Oh, they got numbers. How many pips they got on the side? Oh, they could have a 10. A 10 would be nice. So show us a pip down there. We got a 10. So 1-1 tie, which is not a loss, which is fantastic. So now we're just going to wait. She's going to go ahead and she's going to switch out her shuffled shoe. See, she just puts those down the hole because those cards aren't coming back because those cards got all bent up. Probably selling them on eBay. You need some old bent up cards. But the great thing about the Facebook group is they're playing online. They're playing at brick and mortar casinos. And it's a very supportive group. They're all, and it doesn't cost anything. You just have to request to be in the group. So I have the group named in my description down below. And Rich Fortner, so far I've been on a couple live Zoom meetings with the group. People join from around the country, actually around the world, and they talk baccarat. It's been priceless for me. I have gotten some fantastic tips out of there, and not just about strategy. So there's a lot of great things happening in that group. I really encourage you, if you're serious, unless you just came and say, we just wanted to watch Mike the Gambling Guy. We enjoy it. Come on. We all want to win some money. Or we want to win a lot of money. So now I'm going to wait for 3 results. Unless a 7 comes up, then I'm gonna say if the 7 was the winner, then we're going to be playing for the 7. I'm tempted to play for the tie right here because we just had a pair come up. Let's not mix our strategies. I do have a separate bankroll that is playing just for the tie, and it is amazing. So shout out to Baccarat Funk for working with me on how to do the tie bet. It's crazy how you can see them coming, and there's a lot of different ways that you can see it. It's just going to be well, I guess it wouldn't matter if it's a 2. The player's going to have to draw, the banker's going to have to draw another card, so it's going to be a 4. So now we need the banker to have a 2. Oh, there's a 4. So but there's the 7. So the 7, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to jump right in. And we were on a $150 bet, weren't we? We were on our 2-unit bet. We got our tie bet back last time. So because that 7 came, that's my indicator that I'm not going to wait on my underdog. Except, there's a rule of 7s too. The rule of 7s, is which I just broke because I was in too big of a hurry. That is, you actually have to play a ghost bet, a phantom bet, to make sure that the 7 strategy is working in your shoe. So you want to make sure that it's working. So hopefully that's a 4, not a 5. Yes! And the 7s did work. So we just got our units there. And we're back up to 1900. So we're 2 units away from going back to our $25 unit. So the goal of when we're playing the Mikey 3, or the Underdog 3, is we want to win 10 units. That's the goal. But if you're having a hard time and you're struggling with that, just like any game, cut your wins short and go, hey, a win's a win. As Rich Fortner says, win a little, win a lot, but don't leave your money at the casino. I love that advice because too many people do leave their money at the casino. So I would have had a bet here, and it would have been on the banker if I wasn't talking so much. So we can see our last 3. Now our bet would be on the player because the player right now is the underdog from those last 3. Again, we're just looking up the column and see what the last 3 was. Not really paying attention to what's happening on the main road, even though it's in a chop. Doesn't look like that's going to continue. Hopefully we got an ace. No, that's not an ace. So we're gonna lose that one. It was a pair. So we did have another pair show up. And it's still on the player. for being the underdog. So if we get one more banker here, we sit now, right, until there's an underdog, because that banker could go on a run. But we need to come back to the player, right? Positive thinking. Let's put that out in the universe that it's going to be coming back as a player. We got a pair of kings. So we just had a pair on the hand before this, and we came back with another pair. It's not unusual. Are they going to have a 6, 7, or 8 here? 7. Oh, and we got a 7-0. So that was 3 in a row. Even though the 7 showed up, I really want to play the player because the 7 showed up. But I've only got one more bullet here. So we'll see if that 7 didn't stay alive. The 7 rule. There's 2 pips. Now that's a 10. I saw it peek underneath her. So the player's gonna win. She didn't cover it up so well that time. So the 7 rule did come out and win again. So now the player is once again the underdog. And this is where we're going for 8 units. So $400. Man, I really hate to lose 2 bankrolls trying to show you this technique. And you guys are going, wow, that's really great, Mike. You really rocked the house on that one. It's like, I was doing great up until right now. So we got a 1. Hopefully they've got a 7 or 8 under there. No, they don't. They've got a 4 or 5. 5. So they got a natural 8. Ouch! That's a stinger. Okay, well we've got one more bite of this apple yet. And that we're gonna go with a $100 unit, because you see I've got $1,300 left. So my last bankroll is 4 times my original bankroll. So we're going all in with you. Because we're going to win this back. So she's going to creep up my cards. Going to say, hopefully we got a 2 or a 3 that was hiding under there. Would have liked the natural, but we just got the win. So there we've got 1 unit back. So now we've got 2 to 1. Now it's going to the banker. And you see how I just doubled my bankroll as far as my unit. So I actually had 5 miniature bankrolls, I guess, in there, because the first one we had used. Then we used 2, put those together, and now I've just put 3 together. So I needed 5 bankrolls in order to get to this level. So let's get a good card under here. Nope, got a face. Got a pair. We got 4 pips. We got 3 pips. So we're not going to have enough. There's not going to be enough under there, is there? Nope. It's a 7. Could have got an 8, but. Alright, so now we're going 3 units. Come on, banker. Now we just had a pair, so I'm not going to be surprised if a tie shows up. Hopefully we got that strong 7. Well, they got 2 pips. They could have 6 or. Oh, they got 8. All right. Well, that was 3, right? So we don't go back in until we have an underdog, because we got to get the underdog. So we're gonna be going back in for $800. the banker going to win this one, or are they going to have... Oh, yeah, it looks like the banker's going to win this one. So now we've got our underdog again. So now we're going back to the banker for $800. This is it. This is it. $800 to the banker. We're going to get a banker right here. See how he's hand shuffling the cards back there? Let's hope that 7's strong enough. Yeah, so it was 7-3. Let's keep that 7 strong. Yes! We got it! I know you guys missed the dance, didn't you? And that's why we have the bigger bet on the bankers to pay all that commission. So now we're going to go with 1 unit on the player because our underdog is the player. And I feel a sneeze coming on. I'm going to apologize now. Woohoo! So come on, player. You see most of the bets over on the banker side. And they've got 2 pips plus, well, could be 6 or 7. It's gonna be hard to beat. Nope, impossible to beat. It's an 8. All right, so now our underdog is, they've had 3 in a row. So now we're chilling. Now we're gonna wait. I mean, if we look at the main road, that's where it's reached some resistance each time, right? It hasn't gone over 3. And that we did have a 7 that was just up there. Really want to play the player for 3 units right here. It's where you're mixing both strategies, and you're like, oh, the 7 was there. And you also have the main road. See, there was an 8 on the player. So now we need another player for 3 units. Deal change. Smile. She goes, no, I'm not going to smile. Come on, player. 6. Let's get a 4, 5, or 6. Ooh. 4, 5, or 6. You got 2 pips in there. 3 pips in there. How many you got? 3 pips. Could be a 6. Could be a 5. Oh, it couldn't be a 5. Could be a 6 or 7. 7 would just, yeah, it's a 7 or an 8. It's an 8. So we're all the way down to 1. We got a lot of work to do. Now we need a 6 or 7 or an 8. That's a 2. 2 or 3. All right. Well, we're still on the player, but now we are on for our 800. Come on, underdog. Underdog sounds like the superhero from, was it the 70s? Everybody's probably going, I don't remember the Underdog. Saturday morning cartoon. Oof! Need an ace. That's not an ace. That ain't gonna save me. That ain't gonna save me. All right. Well, that is it for today. So you got to see the strategy. not work. But I do encourage you to check out the Facebook private group. Again, the description is down below. Just search for it on Facebook and just ask Rich if you can join. Pretty sure he's not going to tell you no. It's just no BS and no drama, right? It's just people there to help people. So until next time, Mike the Gambling Guy, I'm out.